The Babylon Bees topic of the week.
Big tech censorship.
Well, we went different directions with that.
I sounded very excited about it.
Big tech censorship.
Big tech censorship, everybody. Let's go. Woohoo.
I like how there's like, okay, you imagine the voiceover guy, you know? And like, big pharma.
Yeah.
And then he's like, big oil. But they're never like, big tech. Unless you're like watching like Daily Wire. But, you know, I think most, you know, people on the left, they like big tech, right?
Yes, because now this authoritarianism that I think that they kind of have
They've
when
been
it's their
wanting
side
it.
in power and they want,
They
and they
love
just, it's like now it's cool, now it's popular, now they have an excuse for it. And it's like,
Yeah.
boom, all right, let's go authoritarian state. Woohoo.
Yeah, I love it. It's not, Kyle. It's the free market working, Kyle.
That's what's so crazy about all this. Like, I've had to think through a lot of this and work through a lot of this because it's like, yes, on the one hand, there's a private company that is saying you can no longer use our product, and that is fine. And if we're the people who are saying, you know, we don't have to bake the cake when the person comes into the shop, then on the one hand, there's a consistency that says, yeah, okay, well, the problem is right now that government is so tied up with these big tech companies.
Right.
You know, all the government has to do is be like, hey, Jack. You know, they call Jack. He comes out of his little van that he's living on the streets of San Francisco. He's like, yeah, what's up, man?
Bro.
Yeah, or he's totally high in like some island in the Pacific, and he's just sitting there like, oh, yeah, what's up, bro?
Hanging
They're
out with
like,
his spiritual
hey,
advisor.
You know, Donald Trump's our political opponent. Would you mind banning him? Oh, yeah, no problem, man. And as long as they like have this barrier that it's not the government doing it, we're not going to do anything, then it's fine.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's...
And the monopolies, like that was the thing that happened with Parler. Parler
that's
had
so
their
wild.
servers on Amazon, but Amazon has like 50% of like, if you need like, you know, servers, Amazon owns like the largest portion of those. Like it's a huge amount. It's hard to get to do without them. And Amazon also provides servers to Twitter. So it's really bizarre that because Amazon, that was really the devastating thing that happened to Parler it was devastating that Google and Apple pulled them from their app store, but even worse, Amazon took away their ability to even have their information online.
Right.
And they did it with a 24-hour notice. They basically said, make all these massive changes that a company like Twitter could do with crazy algorithms and, you know, one thing that like I've seen stories saying Parler didn't comply. Parler was trying to comply. I've watched interviews with the lady who's the people that run Parler, and I mean they're devastated. They're trying to keep up, but they don't want to be like Twitter. They don't want to be like Facebook, and it really does feel like Twitter, Facebook, and Apple and Google. They're all kind of like these giant behemoths that they run everything, and they're all talking about all the horrible things that have happened and on their watch, and who's to blame? And then there's like this tiny little Parler right there. And they're like, that's who it was. Blame Parler. Like there's nobody plotting violence or saying horrible things on Twitter or Facebook
Oh, I know.
that don't get taken down.
Yeah, Twitter is all just a lot of positive comments
Oh, yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, like a good example is Ayatollah Khamenei. Our stance against Israel is the same stance we have always taken. Israel is a malignant cancerous tumor in the West Asian region that has to be removed and eradicated. It is possible, and it will happen.
No, that's fine.
That's a tweet that is on Twitter.
What is he in Iran? He's Iranian something or another.
Yeah, he's Iran, I believe.
He's like Iran's like head of department of blowing stuff up, or
He's Khamenei. I don't know. Spiritual leader.
Okay,
Oh.
so I was right.
So he's like their
So-
Joel Osteen.
Yeah, he's like their Joel Osteen. Yeah, and it's just, you know, there's this argument like, well, if you don't like it, go build your own Twitter.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, fine. They go build Parler, and they're like,
Smash.
go make your own web servers.
Yeah.
You know, go make your own email provider. Go get in a rocket ship and go to your own planet and make your own society. Like that's what it's all coming to on some level. Banks are cutting ties from Trump. Mega corporations like Amex, Amazon, Marriott, Commerce Bank, Hallmark, Charles Schwab. They're all cutting off any donations to Republicans who supported efforts against certifying the election results. Which is funny because Democrats did the same thing back in 2017. There was a movement. I think it was more states than there actually were in the Republicans that were trying to fight against certifying the election results for Donald Trump. And it's like, but then their side does it, and boom, you're gone. GoDaddy took away the domain registration for a gun forum, AR15.com. How long until you and I are just crazy guys talking?
You just watch
to
this
nobody?
happen, and it feels like you see an avalanche coming down the mountain way up there, and it's like right now it's cool to watch, but it's gonna hit us.
Well, I mean, the great thing about banning speech you don't like is it never backfires on anybody. It never is going to be used against you.
Yeah, that's a great way to end violence, is to make people feel completely silenced and unable to have a voice in any way.
This is not going to have any kind of blowback whatsoever. Right, that's wonderful.
Yeah, generally people just go, "Oh, I can't talk, so I'll just sit here and play Grand Theft Auto." So Twitter's constantly full of positive comments. Mm-hmm. Like when this guy said, "Who are Mitch McConnell's neighbors? I'm just saying Rand Paul's neighbor did what a true Kentucky hero should do. It's your turn to step up." That's not a call to violence.
No, not at all. And Kelly Paul, Rand Paul's wife, says, "Hey, Jack, remember how for the last 3 years you have allowed thousands of hateful tweets celebrating my husband's assault and encouraging more violence against him? I do." Boom, mic drop, destroyed. Roasted by Kelly Paul.
By the way, I think a great name for a coffee shop would be Boom Roasted.
Hey. Are we giving that to our listeners for free?
That's free.
Oh,
but I want free coffee if you make it.
Okay.
Or a name of coffee. Be a good name for coffee beans.
Kosti Hin, who we had on this show before, said, "It's amazing that big tech was able to shut down so many accounts and ban Parler in a span of hours. But no one could stop Pornhub from proliferating child porn and rape videos of abused women for years."
Boom roasted.
Boom roasted.
I love Kosti Hin.
So this feels like a brave new world. I don't know. This feels like a step. Like this has happened before where it's like this guy got banned and you're like, wow, they went for Alex Jones. Mm-hmm. Well, it's Alex Jones. Or they went for this guy or that guy. Milo or whatever.
Yeah.
Went for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, you just banned the president of the United States from Twitter.
And a bunch of people.
It's like, okay, this is probably like that slippery slope everybody was talking about.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people comparing it to the response to 9/11, like how we went full on Patriot Act afterwards and the war, and just all this. Like everybody wants to like overstep, just like do
Joe Biden introducing
how mad they are.
Joe Biden introducing Patriot Act 2, even more patriotic. That's coming.
So what do we do? Because it's like, as a person who's passionate about this, do you just like get off of Amazon and Twitter and Facebook and you go over and find like some little other website they're going to crush if they haven't already?
I mean, I think you do try to build the infrastructures that we can control. I think, and things we can control, we do try to build our own. We try to build our own networks.
It would be great if we could. But does the internet become like a divided internet where there's like one half here and one half there, and like there's conservative Twitter and left Twitter? Is that better or worse than having us all be on one?
Well, I think let's say where the internet was 5 years ago or 10 years ago, like when Twitter was kind of growing in popularity and you had kind of this open discussion. And I mean, there was tweets from Jack from just a few years ago where he's like, this will remain a place for open discussion because the left was pushing him like, ban people. He's like, that's not what we're about. We're about open discussion. And I think that was kind of the ideal. Like, but if we're getting banned, what are we supposed to do? Just have nothing?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you can't just have nothing.
So I do think you build out the infrastructures where you can. You work within where you can.
Yeah. I'm hoping that this turns out to be a good thing for Parler. It's made their name much bigger than it was before, and I'm hoping if they can figure out their server issue. Yeah, and also they're suing Amazon. I hope they win.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Because Amazon, in their contract was that they have, if there's a change Amazon wants, they have 30 days to make it. They gave them 24 hours to make massive, impossible changes. So I would love to see them win that. I am seeing just how scary it is that at the push of a button, one phone call, there's like a big meeting and everyone's like, okay, we ban everybody now, and it's just, it's scary how fast it happens and how in sync they are and how organized they are. You watch all those sci-fi movies like Alien or whatever, where there's like 3 mega corporations that control everything, or I think Alien's like 1 mega corporation that controls everything. And it was always like, oh, this is like a fascist, neo-fascist right-wing company that took over everything. And it's like, that's where we are. Yeah. Except it's the left. Wieland Yutani Corporation, run by Jeff Bezos. I think also seek out, I think a lot of people don't think this way. You're used to having your entertainment and things given to you through giant corporations like Disney and things like that. The internet has made it possible for creators to do things like crowdfunding. Seek out people that you want to support, find their Patreon page, find their crowdfunding thing they're doing or whatever. find things like that are indie, independents, things like that. And then I think that I would tie in the Babylon Bee subscriber. That's the way you can stay connected to us. And when Twitter pushes the button, you won't even notice because we'll be right here with you. But and anybody you like, find how to get directly to them. Find their website and their way to get to them. Like, because a lot of us have to use Amazon. You know, I sell my book on Amazon, but I also have my own store where I sell it. You know, seek out that person's actual site. Seek out how the money gets most directly to them.
I think,
but even then, Stripe could shut you down. But
I think buy local, shop local, buy directly wherever you can. Exactly like Ethan's saying. Subscribe monetarily and support the content you like. Maybe that's us. Maybe that's someone else. Definitely.
How are we going to make a conservative Amazon? Who's starting that?
Yeah, I know, right? But again, like
everybody uses Amazon like crazy.
I know, but I don't know if that's a societal good. I don't know if it is a societal good. Like
I agree. It's just so convenient, but
it's super convenient. But
I do think it's overall bad for society.
It's probably bad for us. Like I remember back in the day when I wanted some weird board game or weird video game. It's like I would go directly to this weird indie developer's website and go through their strange checkout process. And like, I wonder.
I think you meant like you went to some weird game store.
Well,
like
that too.
3 hours.
That
away.
too. But if I had to buy something,
not now because they don't exist. They've all been shut down.
But you had to go and you went and like.
Yeah,
had to go through the checkout process. You're putting your weird address. You're putting your address in this weird website, and you hope that they don't like murder you or something. But it was fun, and you got this package, and it was like I don't know. There's something just so like homogenous about Amazon. I don't know if it's good. Homogeneous, however you say it.
Yeah, I do very much believe G.K. Chesterton would have despised Amazon.
G.K. Chesterton.
Yes,
and I said it as a guy who shops like crazy on Amazon
because Amazon is like the cheese.
The cheese.
Everybody
wedge,
gets the same cheese wedge.
Yeah.
And the internet used to be the Wild West where you would get all kinds of weird kinds of cheese.
He might just hate the internet too, but yeah, I
think,
he
definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway. It did used to be a good thing and a fun thing.
Oh, well, hello. Thank you so much for watching one of our videos. I'm Ethan. You may have found that out through the video you already just watched, but just in case. Like, subscribe, comment. I'm trying to think of all the things that the boss told us to say. Write, like, comment. I already did that. Bell. Click the bell. I don't know. It helps the videos. It helps us grow the channel. So please do it. We need your help. We're all in this together.